Heroin use has become a dangerous epidemic in the United States. How did heroin become such a problem? This is a story of scientists trying to find a better alternative, but instead ended up with something worse. Raw opium has been used as a painkiller for centuries, but in the 1800s, a German chemist isolated a potent alkaloid from opium by boiling it in meconic acid. The product, morphine, was marketed as a painkiller and ironically as a way to treat opium addiction. But after thousands of American Civil War soldiers became addicted to it was clear that morphine was also incredibly dangerous. Again, scientists set out to come up with a non-addictive alternative. To do this, they acylated morphine and produced heroin, which was sold as a cough suppressant and, as a treatment for morphine addiction. But instead of a safer drug, they made a more dangerous one. By acetylating morphine, the molecule became more lipid-soluble and thus could cross the blood-brain barrier faster. It's why heroin is associated with such a rush. So why the addiction? When your body seeks to reduce pain, it releases endorphins, which bind to opioid receptors in neurons and stimulate a G protein to inhibit the next neuron. When heroin enters the brain, it is converted back into morphine and essentially hijacks the endorphin receptors and supercharges the system. What makes heroin and morphine so addictive is that they also cause euphoria by indirectly stimulating the release of dopamine, the neurotransmitter responsible for telling your body it's being rewarded. But the body quickly becomes desensitized to the natural endorphins and pretty soon respond only to the drug. This is what causes both heroin withdrawal symptoms and dependence. So why the heroin epidemic now? That is a story of a much larger addiction. Essentially, morphine is still the best painkiller we have, and we keep trying to keep the good and leave the bad. In the 70s, 80s, and 90s, newer synthetic versions like OxyContin and hydrocodone were marketed as non-addictive alternatives. Like Deja Vu, these claims were false, and as opioid prescriptions have both fallen and gotten pricier, addicted patients have turned to the cheaper, faster-acting alternative discovered more than 100 years ago, heroin.